All right, number ones, today is the day. We're going to talk about several women. So have a seat. Sydney Sweeney can't catch a break. Really? Well, so we are told by Brett Cooper. Without further ado, for once, maybe in my life, let's click.
Well, you sound like a Democrat.
I'm not.
Well, in case you're like me and you do not watch the show, that clip that has been going viral for the last 48 hours over on X is from this Sunday's episode of HBO's Euphoria. And you might be thinking, okay, Brett, you have said before that you do not watch the show. You just said it again. Why are we talking about this vulgar, depraved piece of television? I mean, the left...
Is it depraved? I haven't got a clue. I've seen it advertised, but I had no idea what it is. What is it? Soft prawn?
Is mad because now they think that Euphoria is conservative coded. Conservatives are now saying, we love Euphoria, we love Sydney Sweeney, we're gonna own the libs with this clip.
Well, we all love Sydney Sweeney unless you are insane, right? That's correct. It is the right position to have. With that being said, I doubt anything on Netflix is going to be useful in order to own the libs. There is that. But anyways, it's up to you, whatever you like.
Hoes on OnlyFans have also jumped in. They're pissed off with how they're being portrayed on the show.
What do you mean? OnlyFans? Yeah, that's... So why are they pissed off? How do they want to be represented? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Show and Sam Levinson, who is the freak of a director, is sitting back in his Hollywood mega mansion laughing at everybody online because everybody is falling for his very obvious rage bait.
That's what it is, guys. Rage bait. Rage bait.
But not me. I'm not falling for it because the only thing I am actually outraged over is the real life Sydney Sweeney's choice in men. Obviously, we're going to talk about that too, but before we dive into this entire...
I honestly do not care about that whatsoever, so I guess I'm going to skip that section.
...story and all the discourse, make sure that you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell if you want to stay up to date on everything that we're doing here on the Red Cooper channel. And...
as ordered.
And by the way, if you guys are in Tennessee, in the greater Nashville area, I'm doing another show at Zany's. May 19th, come out. It's super fun. I tell stories. We do like a live version of the show. We make fun of the craziest things on the internet. It's a great time. Again, next week, May 19th at Zany's, if you're in Nashville.
Wait a minute. Are we watching it sped up? Or is this a speed? Normal? Define? Goodness gracious, what happens if I speed it to 3 times? I'm going to do it, guys. 1. And, I'm going to speed it to 3 times. Let's go. Go.
All right, so Euphoria, just in general, it becomes the talk of the internet. It's talk of the town square every single time they release an episode. Like I said, this is not a TV show that I watch. Now, to be frank, I really watch a lot of television, but I remember watching the first ever episode.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's go back to normal. How can I not? Oh, yeah, I can. 25 probably sound normal. Whatever, let's go.
Of Euphoria in 2019, the first season. All of my friends in LA were talking about it. Everybody wanted to be on this cool new HBO show. I was like, great, teenagers in high school.
You got friends in LA? Must be very open-minded.
Well, it's all cool and colorful. Let's watch it. And I remember being absolutely flabbergasted. I was like, okay, no, crossing the line. This is really grotesque. It's very vulgar.
Vulgar, we don't like that.
And quite frankly, it was just not for me. So
not for me.
This is not a critique on the show, on the actors or anything, again, because I don't watch it. So I have no place in saying any of that. More so, this is a reaction to the people who are losing their minds on the internet.
That's what I like.
About this most recent episode. So all of this has to do, obviously, with Sydney Sweeney, the most controversial woman in Hollywood, it seems. So it has to do with her character.
Because it's the only non-cultist in Hollywood at this point. So of course it's going to be controversial. She's like the exception that confirms the rule.
On the show because it's her. So again, like I said, everybody is already going to be nitpicking. These are the people in our society who still think that she is a Nazi because she did a jeans commercial.
How dare you? She does have amazing jeans though. I don't even care.
And talked about her good genes. So already they're predisposed to be upset with her. But anyway, I had my producer fill me in because she watches the show. Shame. And you guys might remember this. We actually talked about it back in 2024, I think it was, on comment section. But they did this time jump after they had taken a really long hiatus between the last 2 seasons to make the show less risky.
I need a long hiatus from the culture war.
And less edgy. So Pop Base posted at the time, season 3 of Euphoria will have a time jump that moves the storyline away from high school and into early adulthood, which we are seeing now. The characters will be older to make the show's edgy theme of sex and drugs less risky. So everybody was like losing their mind, being like, this is so inappropriate, this is crazy. So they said, all right, we'll just do a time jump. My thought is you should have considered that before you made a bunch of high school characters drug and sex addicted. Just saying. So anyway, like I was saying, just to get everybody on the same page, the show has now jumped 5 years in the future. That is what the current season is revolving around. And essentially, now all these characters are in their mid-20s, every single character ends up in some form of sex work. So
one thing that annoys me profusely is that we even coined the word or expression sex work. It's not work. It's not what. It's not work. It's not work. Let's not dignify it with the word work, because then you have people saying, "Yeah, get the bag, girl," and then you have OnlyFans, poisoning the minds of the youth.
For example, one character, this is all from my producer, by the way, one character is an agent repping OnlyFans girls. Another is working for a man that owns a strip club and is managing the girls. The trans girl in the show is now a sugar baby. And Sydney Sweeney's character, Cassie, is engaged and living in the suburbs in some kind of like 1960s housewife fantasy world. But she did always want to be an OnlyFans model. Like that.
Model, they call them. Model.
That's a through line with her character. So her fiance, whose name is Nate in the show, he forbids it, because again, they're like living this housewife fantasy. But when she learns that this character, her fiance, is in a mountain of debt, that he's not actually as successful as he led her to believe, she decides to take matters into her own hands to help her family.
Define hands.
Virtuous wife, I guess. And she decides to do OnlyFans anyway, because obviously that's what she's always wanted to do. The fiance, once he realizes how much money she's making, how successful she's become, he gets on board. And so from there, their picture perfect 1960s housewife, suburban, trad family falls apart. So
Yeah.
now, TLDR, or too raunchy didn't watch, is what I would say. You are all caught up. We are on the same page here. So
Okay.
Sydney's character is being an OnlyFans model in this current season. That's what they were talking about in Sunday's episode. And in the show, they have her doing just really insane stuff. I mean, she's doing all of this weird fetish play, puppy play, age play. There are other characters that are doing similar things. Like another character is doing something called mummification. And all of this, guys, listen, it is really, really pissing off the real life OnlyFans models, because apparently
That's insane. Oh, yeah, no, because that's all nice and dandy, isn't it? That's like, yeah, what do you do? Put it in your CV when you try to get a job. Unbelievable.
all of that Euphoria is covering is just a step too far. It is too fetishy. It is too cartoonish. This was a real article.
Disrespectful to OnlyFans. Disrespectful.
In one of the Hollywood trades. The headline reads, Sydney Sweeney's Euphoria sex worker is really pissing off OnlyFans models. And
Variety, what a bunch of clowns.
And listen to this. The show's depiction of OnlyFans models via Cassie, that is Sydney's character, has, however, rankled real-life OnlyFans creators who already find themselves subject to enough mockery and scorn due to their life of work. Now,
Work, well, they deserve it, first and foremost. And secondly, creators.
Now, unfortunately, I really don't have a lot of sympathy.
Me neither.
That's a topic for another episode.
Thank you.
Now, to be fair, what I will say is that I do understand one point that these people are trying to make, because the thing that a lot of people are actually really pressed about is the show's depiction of age play, or
Right, yeah,
Cassie
of
dressing
course.
up as a baby for her OnlyFans stuff.
To think that there are people that are into that, I mean, then again, as long as it doesn't involve real children and it's like adults, but it's just weird. It's just weird. What adults do in their privacy, as long as it's consenting, whatever. But honestly, man, it should be frowned upon, though. It should be frowned upon. So keep it to yourself. And it's weird. It's weird.
So one OnlyFans girl said, there is just a lot that is ridiculous and cartoonish about it. There is so much that they have her doing that is not even allowed on OnlyFans, and that alone is infuriating. The age play stuff where she's dressed up as a baby in a diaper, for example, credit card processors have very strict rules that you have to abide by, and the rules are getting stricter all the time. Now,
as they should. Fine. Okay. So variety. The paper you print your stuff on, it's not even worth to be used as toilet paper replacement. With that being said, I'll agree with this in the sense that, I mean, if that cannot happen in real OnlyFans, then I think it's better not to misinform the public. So I'm always about representing the truth of matters, even in situations like this when I need to end up playing devil's advocate. Devil's being excellently placed in this context here, and I have to kind of defend it. I mean, they're right. If that's not happening, it cannot happen, and then you make it happen in the show, is a little annoying, to be honest.
What I do find interesting about this quote is that she's not saying that it's gross, that it's reprehensible. She's simply saying it's not allowed.
Yeah, I guess to once again play Satan's advocate, I will say maybe she said it was, I was going to say she thought it was obviously reprehensible, but maybe she doesn't. Oh, goodness gracious, maybe they don't think it's weird. I didn't consider that.
So why would you do that? Rather than saying, this is so grotesque, I am embarrassed by this is awful,
It
you
is.
push back against these allegations. She's just saying, the credit card processors won't allow it. Like, that's not very convincing. Anyway, another one said, in the climate we're in, that they dressed her up as a baby to make pornographic OnlyFans content was beyond troubling and again serves to perpetrate the stereotypes that sex workers have no moral compass
Of course they don't.
and that they will do anything for money. And
They do.
then there's always this untrue stigma that somehow sex work is synonymous with sex trafficking and abuse. Maybe
Well, not synonymous if you choose to do it. Once again, adults, though, because some of these are like they pre-record up until age 17, and then they post the day after. Right, I get it, it's 18 now, jailbait, but still, well, no, not jailbait anymore, almost jailbait, but still, when did they record it? How can you have so much content ready? And then there's all these weirdos foaming on the mouth, just waiting for, like, what the heck? Moral compass.
it's because the rates of sex trafficking and abuse within the pornographic
That
porn
too,
world, sex work community is insane. It's a very real thing. Anyway, she goes on and says, and they just said, let's make a joke of it. That is so funny, but I am not laughing. Now, here's the thing. I understand that a lot of these girls, these creators, that they don't do that they don't cross that line with age play, whatever it is. But we also know that other people do, that it might be more common than anybody actually wants to admit. Like, we live in a climate where journalists in mainstream publications have supported child sex robots to help minor attracted persons.
Yeah, I mean, the only argument that I heard with that is that people, as an argument, they say, well, if you give the fucking psycho a robot, at least they won't touch a real kid. But is that scientifically demonstrable? Like, is it real? But the real question is, though, like, if a psycho buys that, it's probably if a sicko buys that shit, then shouldn't they be on a list? Right? Because at the end of the day, do we know? If it was demonstrable, like, yeah, you're actually saving children by giving them the freaking robots, then get the freaking robots, I guess. But how do you know? They're not going to be like, oh, I actually like this, so I want to get, now I'm more interested in the real thing. How do you know it's going to work as a substitution first? Then the second thing is, right, but they bought it. So shouldn't they be on a list now that you have that information? That's why I'm like always a little iffy when I hear this. People like, no, it's good because this way they don't actually do stuff to children. If that were true, I would be like, okay, give them the fucking robots, but give who? This person. Well, then you know who it is. Well, then shouldn't they be on a freaking list? You know what I mean? It's a cat that eats its own tail. It's like a circular logic argument, and I find it problematic. And it's very. So I don't know how you would deal with. What do you guys think? Be careful how you type it though, because your comment is gonna get you're gonna have to swap words around.
AKA pedophiles. We have singers like Olivia Rodrigo. This is in a more tame but cultural sense. Like, she is on stage on her tour right now wearing what looks like a baby bubble onesie while singing about sex on stage. There are people every day getting arrested for having child porn on their
Can you please say prawn? I don't know if you get demonetized, but this man here that does get the yellow dollar sign, this and that. Now it's this circle with the exclamation point in yellow.
computers. Like, it's grotesque, it's dark, it's infuriating, but that also is the world that we live in. So love it or hate it, they are not portraying something that is so out there, that's crazy, that is incomprehensible, that would never be involved in this sex work industry that doesn't exist. No, they're portraying something that unfortunately does exist.
Totally, she's right. Very strong argument. I would still say that if that's not allowed on OnlyFans, that should be made clear. I do agree with that still, but then again,
it might not exist on your OnlyFans page, but it certainly does exist in the world of porn. And you do also have to admit the irony of the girl saying that, you know, she feels like the show is portraying her as if she's willing to do anything for money. Like, girl, you still are on OnlyFans, just saying. Anyway, what I actually think is happening is that maybe, possibly, crazy idea, but I think that maybe the storyline is just hitting a little too close to home for some.
I would like to underline, because I know people, whenever I criticize OnlyFans, by the way, I see people say not every OnlyFans creator actually does nudes or prawn. There are people that post pictures in bikini. Bro, I'm not talking about you. If that's what you're doing, whatever, get the money. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have a problem with you. But when it comes to how the website, I have in fact a problem with the culture and the website. Because when you open the OnlyFans page, you see that they say we empower people to represent and express themselves artistically in a world of beautiful, like, you're not. It's shut up. You are gold plating shit. And that's a problem because it makes it look appealing when you change the words and you make it as a content creator, artist, model. You're a model. Yeah, because no one wants to hear you're a prostitute. For those who do pornographic stuff, that's what they are. That's the word. We have a word for it. But when you call them a model that expresses themselves artistically, then it makes it sound like it's fine then. And I can get that. I know what they're doing. I understand the linguistic manipulation just to profit off of this. But can a 16-year-old do that once they see someone else making a lot of money off of it, particularly when they swap the language and they feel like, oh, this is acceptable, then I can do it. I can make money. It's easy.
Of these people. I mean, listen to this. So this was actually posted by one of my old bosses at FEE, which is the Foundation for Economic Education. John, he said, the timing of this Variety article is peak irony. OnlyFans models angry about how they're depicted on Euphoria HBO, including a surgeon who enjoys mummifying. So that's one of the characters on the show. It's a fetish. And then he goes on and he says that piece was dropped days after an OnlyFans model was convicted in the filmed suffocation of a client that she wrapped in saran wrap.
Did you hear that? So if they complain about it, doesn't exist, and sometimes it does. So what?
So in the show, one of the characters, again, they are all sex workers. So this is not Sydney Sweeney's character. This is a different character. They get mummified in this weird sex fetish sense. And then just 1 week ago, an OnlyFans model literally pled guilty to involuntary manslaughter after she did that exact thing for a client with saran wrap.
Bro, I really don't understand. I get it that we all have our preferences when it comes to sex, if I can say it like that. I feel like I have to speak like a child at age 44. Anyways, sex. Fine, you have your favorite position, where you like, I don't care. But it's already such a beautiful thing, right? Why do you need to add all this weird shit? It's already a beautiful thing. So what is it? Mummifying? What's the next one? Zombie?
And he died. So no, this is not, again, it's not off base. This is not cartoonish, maybe, possibly. It's actually a little bit realistic. Now, there was a great line in a Manhattan Institute article about this entire controversy, and I think it fits right in here. So the author wrote, Sam Levinson's Euphoria is doing something similar, and in some ways doing it more brazenly. The show is not conservative in its tone or its aesthetics. It is loudly offensive. It's hypersexual. It is soaked in rape.
That does not sound, honestly, even if it was like a criticism piece, critical piece, it does not sound like something I would consider,
like neon. Its characters are drug addicts, sex workers, and deeply damaged young people doing deeply stupid things to themselves and each other. It does not directly or moralistically preach restraint, but it shows with unflinching honesty what life without restraint actually does to the people living it. And honestly, if you can look past the sometimes shocking, actually always shocking vulgarity of the show, then I would say that that is probably a worthwhile message to explore and take away from the show. And so maybe that is.
Maybe read about it.
But these triggered OnlyFans models are taking away from it. Maybe the mirror was held up in front of their faces and it's just a bit uncomfortable. For people out there who will do anything for money. Now, you know who else?
Money and popularity. Money and popularity.
Will do anything for money. All of those other big cell phone carriers, but not Pure Talk, which is why I love them. Now, paying.
All right, so her code, I think, let me just remove this for a moment. puretalk.com/Cooper, guys. Come on. /Cooper. Splendid.
/Cooper to switch to my wireless company, America's wireless company, Pure Talk. Now, we all just celebrated Mother's Day, but to continue this.
Man, double then. Save a life. Visit preborn.com/Brett.
Celebrations. I would like to urge you guys to consider supporting an amazing organization that truly makes motherhood possible for thousands and thousands of mothers in crisis every single year. Preborn's network of .com/Brett to get involved and
get involved.
Give today. Okay. Anyway, guys, speaking of irony and the mirror being held up in front of people's faces, the other thing that is ironic about this current Euphoria discourse is the fact that conservatives now have jumped on board to defend Sydney Sweeney's character in the show simply because she parroted some online right-wing talking points in one episode. So
I mean, it's the character. Like, who cares? It's the character.
Here is that clip. It is the longer version of what we watched at the beginning.
Like, if a man today were to say that he wants a girlfriend that can cook or clean, he might as well be screaming the N-word. Okay.
Well, you sound like a Democrat.
I'm not retarded.
All right, so essentially in
Wow.
this clip, Sydney Sweeney's character is on a podcast that Trisha Paytas, she has a little bit of a cameo in the show. She's interviewing Cassie, Sydney's character.
You could see that Sydney didn't have any trouble acting that line.
And in this moment, Cassie is talking about men getting shamed because they say that they want a traditional woman. And then somebody off camera says, "You sound like a Democrat," and she replies, "I'm not retarded." And so now the entire internet is debating whether that means that her character is a liberal or a Democrat. Because obviously in 2026, that is going to make or break whether you can watch a show, whether conservatives jump in and try to claim ownership, whether liberals cancel it. It is a whole thing. For example, over on Blue Sky, they were really taking this
Oh no, no Blue Sky, please.
moment seriously. Like somebody said, Sydney Sweeney wasn't acting in this scene. They just happened to hit record without telling her. I saw another post and it was like, this could be a really interesting commentary and satire, but not because of Sydney Sweeney, because she actually believes all of it and it's awful. It's too real. I mean, it was like so.
Bro, Sydney Sweeney's based. Anyways, think I heard about enough. But if you want to continue, please go check out the link in the description or pinned comment. Finish the video, give it a like, give it a thumbnail. Give it whatever the heck thumbs up, actually, not thumbnail, but give it a thumbnail as well while you're at it. And thank you for watching. Ciao.